This is the brand new DEEBOT X11 OmniCyclone from Ecovacs, and it is absolutely packed full of brand new features. In this video we'll go through all of those new features and I'll show you the OmniCyclone station, which is brilliant. There's the brand new Osmo Roller 2.0 and the incredible new Power Boost technology, which means you get a supercharge every time you dock at the station. Agent Yiko, the smart assistant, has got even smarter with the use of AI. And with the new True Pass adaptive 4-wheel drive climbing system, your robot will go places that it's never been before. I'll also explain some of the differences between this and the X9 Omni from earlier this year that we looked at, and we'll talk about the roller mops and how they are an improvement on previous versions. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. So the X11 Pro OmniCyclone comes in a compact box, and this is everything that is inside. It's all very well packaged and very simple to put together. One of the big differences you're going to notice straight away is the power station, the home hub, I call it, of the actual robot vacuum. So the big difference this year is it has completely lost any need for any bags, and that is going to save you quite a bit of money over the years. And instead you have this really smart looking compartment which slots right into the middle of the docking station, and all of your dust and debris are collected right in there. This year there's a compartment which houses the detergent. Now there's two sections for detergent, one for heavy duty and one for more lightweight. There's two different types that you can buy from Ecovacs, or you can use your own type of floor detergent. It doesn't really matter, although Ecovacs do recommend that you use theirs. There's the dirty water storage bin and the clean water storage bin, which will refill and clean the mop. Okay, so all you need to do to start off with is get that filled up, and then we're going to be ready to go. Remove the top cover from the robot vacuum and turn the red switch to flick it on. Now there are a full step-by-step guide for setting it up. I won't bore you in this video, but it literally takes about 10 minutes to get set up. And then the first thing that you'll want to do is send it on a mapping mission.
DEEBOT starting mapping and will automatically learn every corner of your home. You don't need to follow it during the process. Mapping time varies depending on the house size, usually 5 to 15 minutes.
So the robot vacuum just goes around the floor of the house and then maps everything. It even will avoid your dog if you've got a stubborn dog that just will not get out of the way. And as you can see from the on-screen display, if you're with the app, then you can see the app generating as it goes. And it really is very clever how it does it, and it does a superb job. So after it's been all around the floor of your house, it's going to make rooms. Now those rooms need editing, but once you've edited them, you can call them exactly what you want. And you can add things like virtual boundaries or separate rooms, join rooms. There's so much you can do. I'm not going to bore you in this video with that because I may have shown you that in a previous version, but it's very, very comprehensive what you can do. The X11 OmniCyclone station is just slightly bigger than the X9 Omni from earlier this year, but I think it looks an awful lot better. I love the gunmetal type grey, it really looks classy. But as I mentioned, one of the big differences is this middle section, the fact that you do not need a bag anymore, and the emptying process is fantastic. So effectively there are two large blasts of suction which removes everything from the tray, and I wanted to double check it, so I opened up the tray and there was not a morsel of dust left inside. It was incredible. So then afterwards it will wash the mop and also dry the mop so that you're not getting any lingering bad smells of wet mop. So the next feature I'm going to tell you about is actually my favourite, and it's about the Power Boost technology. Now this was the X9 that I showed you earlier on in the year, but one thing which I did notice is that it did have to go back several times to empty during the course of cleaning my house, and it didn't charge while it was there. So it did run out of battery, and then I had to wait for it to charge to finish the rest of my house. Well, my friends, that problem has gone. Because now with the Power Boost technology, you're getting perpetual runtime, which basically means that when you go back to empty and to clean the mop, it will give you a supercharge of energy. So when it first went back to the dock, it was on 79%, and I let this test run for a few minutes. I think it was around 3 minutes and 20 seconds in total, but in that time it had put on over 6%. So if you've got a larger property and you don't want to have to wait ages for the recharge, well then this is going to be a fantastic solution. I really love it. With TruePass adaptive 4-wheel drive climbing system, you can go over any threshold. Well, any threshold that's around 3 to 4 centimeters. So if you've got little steps or little ledges between rooms, this is ideal. It's got a little mechanism within by the wheel which just lifts you over that extra part. And that is something which I've just never seen another vacuum do. Now, even my dog was surprised that it managed to get over that step. Now, it's all very well having the best features, but does it do the basics well? Well, let's start with mopping. Here you can see that it's leaving a very prominent line where it's mopping, and that's down to the pressure of the roller. And the other thing with that is that the line is even, and that's because it's consistent pressure. Whereas the old traditional pads which just dragged along the floor, well, they were clean for the first couple of minutes of using them, but then effectively you're just dragging a dirty pad around all of the rest of your floors. And with the 2 dual disc mopping system, well, they just didn't have the same pressure as the consistent roller, so it just didn't do as good a job. They were better than the pad, but not as good as this new system. The Osmo Roller 2.0 with TrueEdge 3.0 is powered by 3,800 of Pascal pressure, and that means it's able to lift the stubbornest of stains. It really is incredible how it works, and the fact that it pops out to get into the edges and the corners really is a benefit. So I smeared ketchup on my floor and then I let it dry. That's got to be a test for any robot mop. So the Osmo 2 roller is made from nylon and it spins at 200 revs per minute. But the effect of that spinning plus the constant dripping of the cleaning solution means that it gets rid of the grime very, very easily, because you're always using a fresh clean mop and cleaning solution. But the really clever thing with this robot mop is the fact that it recognized it was a stubborn stain, it then lifted the brush on the side, it lifted the other brush, and it just did the mopping. Once that was finished, it then went around and then cleared up and did the vacuuming afterwards. So it recognized the stubborn stain, didn't want to spread it around the room, just wanted to mop it, and then that's what it did. And as you can see, one pass has completely removed it. So this is the brush on the side which lifts out of the way, and then you've also got the pressure of the mop, and just look how it lifts the vacuum. It's that much pressure, it actually raises it slightly before it starts, and obviously it extends so it gets into all of the edges and then spins at 200 revs per minute. And almost the reverse of this happens when the vacuum detects carpet. The mop will stop spinning, retract, and then raise out of the way, so you're not getting the carpet or rug wet. And as you can see in this slowed down footage, the mop is raised and out of the way. Really, really clever. And with the mop extending further than before, it really is providing an edge-to-edge cleaning solution that you'll be impressed with. With 19,500 pascals of suction power, you're getting impressive pickup, but also you're getting great zero tangle performance from those brushes. And in this next demo, I was a few centimeters off of the ground, I wasn't even on maximum suction power, and it still was able to pick up the tissue and didn't tangle around those brushes. Now again, another feature I really liked is the fact that it's got almost like an anti-scatter mechanism. So when you're picking up something like this, which is just like oats as a demonstration off the floor, you don't want it being spat everywhere by that side brush. And what it recognizes when there's a collection of these things in one place, it turns the brush off, lifts it out of the way, so it just then relies on the suction power. And it will also lift the mop as well, so you're just relying on the vacuuming. And then the robot will see that the majority of that has been cleared, and so therefore the brush will then operate and sweep the debris into the collection area for it to vacuum up. And one of the final tests for this robot vacuum is the obstacle avoidance test. I've got a cup of water on the floor, which it looks like it's going to go around very well. And I've also got a cable, a charger, the type of thing that would be on a floor and just left, but it has recognized the fact that it's there, and it does skirt around it. It is really impressive the way that it knows not to go over that. However, my friends, for full transparency, I wanted just to show you this, which is as close as it's got, and it did give the cup just a little nudge. And finally, the Smart Agent Yeeco has now got AI built in, so you can do a lot more with it. You can go through the prompts that are recommended, or you can just ask it to do something yourself. So for instance, I've said when cleaning the kitchen, can you make sure you do 2 passes? And now it will set that as being the default for doing the kitchen. Really clever how that does that. So my friends, there's plenty to love about the X11 Pro OmniCyclone, whether it be the base station with its cyclone suction technology, or the new power boost charging technology which gives you continuous runtime, or the fact that you can use this in more places now, even with those thresholds and steps that may have been in the way. But for me, the most important thing is that this delivers the most incredible cleaning, vacuuming, mopping experience that I've ever seen on a robot vacuum before. Check out the X11 Pro OmniCyclone. It's available via the link in the description.